In previous part, we have seen something about the representation of text and introduction to representation of number in IEEE format. In previous part, we have seen something about ASCII, that is 7-bit code, which represents your single character, which represents your complete text character by character to its equivalent binary representation. The process of representation of your character to its binary form is called as coding or an encoding. The exact opposite process in which the binary stream is represented back to a human readable form or human readable text or human readable form, let us just say, is called as decoding. Any data, the process of conversion of any data to its binary or a stream representation is known as coding, and the reverse process is known as decoding. The data can be of any form. The data can be an audio file, data can be a video, data can be an image, data can be a text, data can be a number. It can be anything. Or it can be a collection of more than one or more things. Such data is called as a multimedia data. In such multimedia data, there are various ways to tackle each and every data member. That means texts are represented in different ways. The numbers, numerals are represented in another way. Images are represented in another way. The videos, audio files are represented in various different ways. So in previous part we have said that we will be focusing our discussion to only texts and numerals. In this part we will be seeing how numerals are represented by using IEEE format. In previous part we have seen about the representation of text in ASCII 7-bit code, then extended ASCII, that is 8-bit code, then EBCDIC, IBCD code, which is again an 8-bit code. Then we continued our discussion in previous part with ISO and universal codes, that is called as Unicode, which is one is 16-bit and another ISO is 32-bit. So based on that, you simply give a representation in 1 and 0 for your text and vice versa. So they simply represent the text, they does not change the text. Likewise, we want to work with numbers as well, because while working with numbers we perform various different operations on it. And if there is a process or if there is an error in encoding or if there is an error while storing a number in IEEE format or retrieving it, then that error might cause change in data, and the change in data might result in erroneous output. So the very basic focus will be to store the data in some standard way so that it will be understandable by a machine, as well as the operation performed on that data will be efficient enough. So for that, IEEE has proposed a 32-bit architecture, 32-bit format for it. As you can see over here on the board, 32-bit format is given. Out of this 32-bit format, bit number 0 to bit number 22, that is first 23 bits, are dedicated to represent a fraction of your floating point number. Then rest 8 bits, that is 23 to 30 are the 8 bits which are given to represent the exponent part of your binary number. And lastly, the remaining 31st bit, or if you count from 0, then 32nd bit is given for sign bit number. The sign bit might contain 1 and 0 with respect to or based on its number sign, whether it is positive or negative. According to it, it will be representing its value as 0 or 1. So let us now take an example and let us now see how exactly the number is represented using IEEE format. Just for our sake, we are going to divide this process in 5 different parts so that the understanding and the representation portion becomes much more simpler. So without wasting much of the time, let us just take an input and try to represent that number in floating point format. Let us convert this number to IEEE floating point format by using these 5 steps. So what exactly these 5 steps are? The first step on these 5 steps is taking an input. In second step, what we are going to do? We are going to convert that input to binary format. In third step, we are going to represent that converted format into the IEEE format given to us, that is a sign bit, exponent and fraction. But that will not be a final representation. We are extracting what exactly is an exponent and what exactly is a fraction. That simply means we are representing it in that format. So representation. In fourth step, we will be adding bias to our exponent. So adding pairs, and in fifth step we will be finding out the result. So we are going to proceed with these 5 steps for conversion of or representation of given floating point number to IEEE format. We all are aware that if you want to convert that into an IEEE format, 32-bit representation is given. Out of those 32-bit representation, 0 to 22, that is first 23 bits are given for a fraction representation. From 23 to 30, that is 8 bits are given for exponent representation, and the first bit, or you can say a last bit, is given for signed representation. Correct? So let us just take an input. So which number should we take as an input? Let us simply say 100.25. Let us just take this number as an input. So 100.25 is our input. So as good as step number 1 is over. Let us go for step number 2. Let us convert that number to binary representation. So how do you convert 100? It is extremely simple. We write a number, we divide it by 2 repeatedly, we collect quotients and remainder. So what is the quotient? 50, and we collect remainder is 0. Again, in next step, what exactly we do? We divide the quotient which is generated in first step, again divide it by 2, collect quotient and again remainder. We proceed with this step and we take the remainders in reverse order. After completely processing with this step, that is 25, 2, 12, 1, 12, 2, 6, 0, 6, 2, 3, 0, 3, 2, 1, 1, 1, 2, 0, 1. Now as we know that the quotient is 0, we cannot proceed further. That simply means we have to stop at this point. If we stop at this point, the reverse order will tell you about the binary representation of your number. That is, this order will tell you the binary representation of a number. So what is it? It is simply something like 1 1 0 0 1 0 0. Correct? Now this is regarding 100. What about 25? We all know that for 25, the 0.25 conversion, we need to multiply it by 2. Of course, it is on the right hand side of decimal point, so we need to multiply it by 2. So 0.25 multiplied by 2, then collect the fractional part and exponent part separately. That is, collect the part which is left on the decimal point and collect the part which is right on the decimal point separately. So how? So 0.25 multiplied by 2 gives me 0.5, and what is the part which is left to the left of it? That is 0. Again, 0.5 multiplied by 2. So what it will give me? 1.0. And what is the left hand side of this number? 1. So I am collecting 1. What I did, every time after multiplication, I took the part which is right hand side of decimal point and I repeatedly multiplied. Now what did I get in this step? I got as 0. If I multiply it by 2, I will be getting 0 again, and I will be repeating this thing, which is illogical. So I will be stopping at this point and I will be taking this thing in downwards order. Correct? So I will be writing my complete number as 0 1. So what exactly is this? The representation of a number 100.25 in binary is 11 00 100.01. So our second step, that is conversion, is over, complete. Now let us proceed with our third step. So this conversion is in this. Now we are going to go for a representation. So how exactly do you represent? The process of representation is quite simpler. Now if my number is this, let us just say 1 1 0 0 1 0 0.01. If this is my number, then I will simply shift this decimal point to leftward portion. Let us simply say I can represent this number, or I can rewrite this number as, let us simply shift this point 1 2 3 4 5 6 places. So after changing this point to the 6 places to the left, what number I will get? I will simply get this number multiplied by 2 to the power 6. So what exactly is this number? This number is nothing but a representation of your complete binary number which is given over here. Now according to this binary representation, we are going to classify this thing in two parts. That is, a fractional part and exponent part. What is this 6 represents and what does this thing represent? That is what we are interested in. This 6 represents your exponent part and this represents your fraction part. So what did we do in this step? We simply said what exactly is our fractional part and what exactly is our exponent part. Now multiplied by 2 raised to power 6. Why did I take a radix or a base as 2? Because this is a binary number. If it would have been a decimal number, then I would have represented by 10 to the power 6. Got it? Okay. What after that? Let us just represent this 6 in binary as well. What is this binary 6? So 6 representation in binary is something like this. Oh, this is 5. So this binary representation of 6 is 110. So now let us try to represent this thing in the complete IEEE format. Now to represent this thing in complete IEEE format, what we need to do? We know that how many bits are given for exponent? Exponent has been given 8 bits. How many bits are given for fraction? Fraction has been given 23 bits. So let us try to represent these 3 bits within these 8 bits. So for that only one step is required. What do you need to do? You need to add a bias to your exponent. So what is my exponent? Let me just rub this thing out. My exponent was 6. So 110. This was my exponent 6. 2 to the power 6 for that reason. And what I am going to do? I am going to add a bias to it. And what is a bias? Bias is an 8-bit number. Correct? So let us just add a bias to it. So let us just say 1111 1110. This is my bias. This is an 8-bit number and I am going to add this number with 6. So 0, 0, 0, 0 and 0. Simply add these two numbers. What will you get? You will simply get 1, then some 0, carry 1, some 1, carry 1, some 0, carry 1, some 0, carry 1, some 0, carry 1, some 0, carry 1, 1. Done? So what exactly did you get? You get this number. Correct? Let us mark this number as the exponent part. Correct? So let us simply try to write this thing as an exponent. How many bits exponent is this? This is an 8-bit exponent. So let us simply write 8-bit exponent to it. The first, before writing that thing, before representing this thing, after adding bias, before representing this thing in IEEE format, let us just see the number is positive or negative. Of course, this number is positive. So sign bit representation for this number will be 0. After that, you have to give 8 bits exponent. So what is an 8-bit exponent? This we have generated. That is 1 0 0, then 0 1 0 1, 1 0 0, then 0 1 0 1. This is your exponent portion. And then write down your rest of what? Fractional portion. So what is our fractional portion? This was our fractional portion completely. This multiplied by 2 raised to power 6. That was our fractional portion. So simply let us write the fractional portion as it is. 1 0 0 1 0 0 0 1. Now there we have ended with our fractional part. Correct? The rest of the bits, what should we write? We will simply append 0 in those rest of the bits. So 0 0 0 0 up to all the last working spots. Something like this. So finally what did we get? For 100.25 we have generated our IEEE format. What process did we follow? We followed this 5-step process. We took an input, we converted that to binary, then we gave a representation to it. What representation we did give? Multiplied by 2 raised to power 6. That representation we give. Then that 6 was considered as exponent. We converted that 6 to binary, added a bias to it, something like this. After adding a bias, we got an 8-bit number. That 8-bit number we treated as a exponent. The rest of the number, fractional part of the number, which we have generated after the representation step, we have written in the further 23 bits. But it does not occupy 23 bits. So what did we do? As many bits it occupies, we have represented that number by those many bits, and the rest of the bits we have appended 0. That simply means they are 0. They are having no value. So that was our final result. So by following these steps or by following this procedure, we can simply implement that. We can convert any number to IEEE format. I hope this process is extremely simple. We will be giving you various different assignments to solve on this step. There are various different formats other than these also, but as far as we are concerned, we are going to work right now with IEEE formats for floating point numbers. So far what we have seen the formats for textual inputs, we have seen formats for numeric input. Other multimedia formats are also available by some standardization agencies, but they are right now currently out of bound of your syllabus. So we will not be discussing those in this syllabus. We will be discussing them otherwise whenever we will get time. So we will be stopping here for this part. If you have any doubts, any question, you can contact me anytime on Moodle, that is on my classroom, and we will stop here. Thank you.